how I communicate with the world with regards to my autism. So come into my mind for just a moment. Come into my mind for just a moment, autism. This video is that I'm making mistakes already. I'm going to keep this. This is part of my autism. Speech, getting out words and putting words together that make sense. So this is going to be real. This is going to be raw. And I'm showing you my mind inside my unique brain. They call this autism. I call it something else. So I'm going to take you guys on a journey of a person's individual mindset with having autism. Enjoy. Okay, so when I was younger, let me just take some of this tea. I took long to speak. So when I was young, I didn't really like speaking, and I took long to speak. Now in my mind, when I was younger, I understood, so I could listen to communication. I could listen, but I did not want to speak. I loved being in that fairyland, that spiritual awareness of just not speaking, but being able to communicate without speaking. I loved doing that. And I used to play with toys and my dollhouse and stuff like that. And I never needed anyone to play with because I had myself, my mind. I would go inside my mind often. Inside my mind was like my playground, my home, my safe place, my place where I would enjoy myself and have a lot of laughters. And all this is without speaking. So I'm telling you this, guys, because I'm letting you go into a mind of an autistic person, which I didn't know I was autistic then. But I remember that I didn't like speaking verbally, but I'd be speaking in my mind. And I liked that. So I became used to that growing up. Speaking in my mind, doing everything in my mind and not speaking verbally. When I got older, and obviously I started speaking like I am now. And what happened is that everything that I see in my mind is of video and of story. I don't see words. Occasionally I might see pictures, but 99% of the time, constantly, even now, I'm seeing a video. So I'm speaking to you and I'm speaking to you about, oh, you can hear my cats there. This is how real it is. I'm going to leave them in the room. Right now, I'm speaking to you about my mind, autism, and communication. Now, what I'm seeing while I'm speaking to you is me as a child playing around and not wanting to speak, but I'm seeing it in a video form. Now, since then to now, I'm seeing myself as an adult, and I'm walking on the street and I'm looking at people and I don't really want to speak to them. I'm just literally walking past them. This is happening to me now while I'm trying to concentrate to speak to you guys. This is my brain every single moment. I have different videos that goes on in my mind and it doesn't shut off. It doesn't shut off. So can you imagine, what is my process? So my process is video, trying to work out the video to be able for it to come down into words for my speech, for me to start speaking and making it into words. It's a process. Every time I have to communicate outwards. If I don't have to communicate outwards and everything's in my mind, it's structured for me in my brain. So if I want to visualize or speak to my my mind and go into my mind and work things out in my mind, it's really structured for me because I'm used to that. I'm used to seeing my everyday life in my mind first. So it goes in my mind first and then it comes out afterwards. It's not the other way around. Yeah. So this causes an effect on my communication, and it causes an effect on the way that I communicate with people. So I'm going to go on to talking in conversations. How I talk in conversations. Now, if I'm having a conversation with another person, for me to understand what they're saying and get to grips with what they're saying takes time. So somebody else is talking now, so I'm seeing the video of them. So it's not just my video in my brain now, I'm seeing their video of what my brain or my mind is showing me. So they could be talking about moving house, for an example. I'm listening to them, but I'm seeing the video in my mind of them moving house. I can see the house. I can see them going into the house and moving boxes. And they're just here talking to me about moving house. Now, for me to see the video is easy. For me to listen to them at the same time is a bit of a problem for me. And then for me to get out what I want to say, because it's a conversation, can get a bit confusing for me because everything is going on at the same time. Everything's happening at the same time. But in my brain, it makes sense. It's not confusing to me. It only gets confusing when I start to speak out. Yeah? Start to communicate through words. That's when it starts to get confusing for me. So what will happen is sometimes I will cut in, and I'm cutting in because I need to get the words out, because the words are going to go. I can see it in the video form, the words are going to go. So I'm trying to get out the words very quickly so they don't leave. And I don't want to be rude with the other person of they may feel that I'm not speaking to them or something like that. So it has to be quick. So that seems like I'm cutting. So that looks like I'm being rude anyway sometimes, because I'm cutting. So that's an example. I used to be more cutting when I was younger. I've chosen to put things in place with that now. So I put a lot of my conversations with people in boxes, and I keep it there until I'm ready to release them. Or if I've got a pen and paper, I'll write down. Other than that, I have to work with this every day. Yeah, I have to work with this every day. Now, if I've got someone who is literally probably 3 people here and then I'm here, so there's 4 of us and everyone's talking at the same time, that's confusing for me. I can't get to grips with all the conversation. I can't put it into order. It's confusing. It goes all over the place and it's noisy. It's noisy for me. So again, what could happen is that I could speak up quite loud. And when I'm expressing my answer or just interacting with the group, it might seem that I'm being a bit too much. My speech is becoming loud and it can become quite stern as well. Very cutting. And it's cutting and stern because I'm trying to concentrate. I'm trying to get in what I need to get in. And it's a bit confusing in my mind, but I'm trying to make it organized for others to be able to understand me. Some of the times I'm not understanding, it's too much. It's the same on the phone. On the phone is worse because I can't see the person. So I can't pick up on their expressions or what they're trying to say. So it's worse for me on the telephone. So talking in conversations is a problem for me. And I don't know if people, my close friends or family, really understand how difficult it is for me to just have a conversation and for it to be in a way where it makes sense. So if I'm tired and my brain is tired, my words can go all over the place. So it wouldn't make sense in a sentence. This is not just my autism, this is my epilepsy as well and my dyslexia, but I'm not speaking about that now. I want to stay with the autism because it is part of the autism also. All the neurological conditions overlap with each other. It's like a spiky profile that some of us have, and I'm one of them. So I think that's it with that one. So that question, talking in conversations, that is my way of how my brain connects to my words to be able to connect with other people. Communication through emotions. What are emotions? Showing our emotions, different forms of emotions. Again, when I was younger, that was part of not being able to express emotions. I didn't feel like, or even now, but I'm talking about the younger, and then I'll come up to the adult. When I was younger, I didn't feel like, when people said emotions, I didn't feel like I knew what that was. There was no connection to emotions in that way. So I remember when I was, I think I was 15, and my grandma passed away. And inside, I was like, oh, she's passed away. And I understood that she continued on and I would not be seeing her no more. And I used to stay at my grand's house. So I was close to my gran in that way. You know, I remembered her vividly, you know, before she passed away. But what I gave out to my family was like, oh, does Zoe care? Does she understand that, you know, Gran's just passed away? Because I was quite very solemn when I was younger. So I was so into my world. I connected with the emotions inside. But outside, it's just like, does she care? Does she know what's happening? Does she understand? And I was quite serious. Remember, I wasn't talking much. So I never used to talk much still around that teenage years. And for me, it was like, okay, this has happened. I understand I'm not going to see her again. And okay, it's happened. And it's living with it, you know, and I was okay with that. I didn't feel like the emotions of the crying and the loss and stuff. I felt that, but inside. So I'm trying to explain to you that these emotions that us autistic people have, when people say, oh, they don't show emotions or they don't know how to show emotions, it's because we already have it inside. So again, remember, this is our home inside our brain. This is where we live most of the time. So all our thinking, our emotions, our breaking things down, how we feel, all that is inside. And to tell you the truth, most of the time it comes and it goes. So an emotion comes, we deal with it, and then we move on. It doesn't stay with us. Yeah. So when I became an adult, emotions was something that became a bit of a problem with regards to communication. And the reason why that was is because I don't have no filter. What I see, I say. What I believe, I share. Yeah. If we're having a conversation or I see something on the telly, and I will tell you my perception. I wouldn't think, oh, I better not say that because nobody else thinks of it that way. Or if I say it, I may hurt that person. So I better not say it. Those thoughts don't come into my head. It's literally, okay, this is what I see. This is my perception. And This is my perception. I don't expect it to be somebody else's perception. I'm very clear on that. It's just my perception. Yeah. But sometimes for others, it will seem like I don't have no emotions because of it. You know, if I always say the famous one, if someone's got, bogies on their nose or whatever, I'll be telling you. I wouldn't like, oh, I don't know you, and oh, you've got some bogies on your nose. I better not say, because no, I'm telling you, and I'm getting the tissue, if I can give the tissue as well, and just say, oh, just wipe your nose. You've got a bigger bogey, and I don't think nothing of it. I don't think I'm embarrassing them. I don't think I'm embarrassing myself. I'm like, I think this person should know, that they have that on their nose, and let's help them to wipe it away. So my emotions is I have my emotions in my way. Yeah, that's the only way I can explain it. I have my emotions in my way. Other people might not see it or understand it. Yeah. So how can I explain it? I can explain it in a way that when something happens in life, I deal with it. That's my emotion. When something happens in life, I deal with it. That's my emotion. But then I move on, and I move on, and I move on, and I move on to the next, and I move on to the next. Anything that comes my way that I have to deal with, I will deal with. If it means I need to communicate and sort something out through communication, I'm going to say it. It's going to be done. I'm going to deal with it. Yeah. And while I'm dealing with it, I'm being true to that situation. I'm being real to it, and I don't have no filter. So I'm just saying how it is for me. Yeah. It's always for me. It's always in my world, and it's always my perception. So I had to learn to think about others and understand that other people have their perception, and they might not see it how you see it. So I have to always be mindful of that. That still happens now. And sometimes when I'm being open and straight to the point, it can seem like I'm being stern, because again, I'm telling you, I don't have no filter. So if there's something that someone's done and I felt like it wasn't nice, or, it made me feel like I want to say something, I'm going to say it. And I'm going to say it as it is. This is how it was for me. This is what I didn't like. This is how it was. The opposite side to that is if there's a person that I've done something and they don't like it, I'm able to say, oh my gosh, did that happen? Oh, I'm sorry about that. It was because of A, B, and C. Oh my gosh, is that how you felt? Now, my response sometimes can seem like I don't care. Yeah, because I'm just reacting to the situation of how I see it. There's no thinking first. Remember, I see videos, I'm seeing it in a video form, and I'm speaking it out of how I see it. There's no, let me think first. How should I say it to that person? Is it going to offend them if I'm upfront? I don't see that. Now, as an adult, I've worked with myself where I do try my best to think that first, because it's been like for the whole of my years since I've been here on earth, it's been the same thing over and over again. I might say something and then someone takes it the wrong way, like, oh, that was a bit harsh the way that you said that, and oh, that was a bit open, or that was too much. It made me feel a certain way, and then I would say, oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. I just was speaking up and I was just being honest. You asked me a question or we're discussing something and I was just being honest. But what happens with that is that throughout the years, it's made me become more quiet. Because if I'm being myself with my emotions of what I want to say, depending on what we're talking about, and it's causing an effect on another person, that they took it a certain way, that they feel a certain way, I don't want to do that because my heart is being genuine. I'm being genuine to who I am as a person. And it makes us realize, especially autistic people, it makes us realize that, okay, humans don't get us. Yeah, humans do not get us. They do not understand when we are being upfront and pure and talking truth. Because remember, this is our truth. So this is my truth. When I'm giving you something, I'm giving you my truth in my mind of how I see it. However, the other person's seeing it completely different because our brain and our mind is different. It's fact. We see things differently, so it's a battle sometimes. And what happens is lack of communication, because I've seen it that way. They've seen it that way. Emotions arises, yeah. And I'm just like, well, sorry, I didn't think I'd done anything wrong, And again, it shows like, well, does she really care? Does she have any feelings for this situation? And it can cause a problem. So that is me when it comes to communication through emotions. I don't connect with emotions like everyone else. I'm just straight to the cut. I'm honest. I talk my truth. That's my emotion. And yeah, someone passes away, I truly understand that some people's going to feel that loss and feel it to the core. And I'm not saying I'm not going to feel it to the core. What I'm saying is that my feeling it to the core would be in my way. Now, my way may not be other people's way that hasn't got autism. So it looks like I don't care, but I do care very much, just in my way. So that one, I think I'm going to leave there. All right, for this section, we're going to be talking about interpretation of language with regards to autism and my autism. So I've got my two sons.
Hi.
So got Jordan here, the youngest.
Hi.
And I've got Kay, who's on the phone. So he's talking
Hello.
from the loudspeaker. Do you want to say hello?
Hi.
Okay.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Okay, so I've got my two sons here, and we're just going to have a discussion on my autism. Now, my autism, when they were younger, I didn't know I had autism. So the traits were always there, but we didn't know that it was autism. So we was just living our life, and I was the mother that I was, and it was what it was. What I really want to discuss in this group session is about the language that's being used and how it causes an effect on communication. And me being a mother to you two, is that something that you saw? Was it something that you picked up from when you was younger, or do you pick it up now that you're older? Because obviously you guys are young men now, so we speak more, we're more real, we're more on the level where we can speak about things like that. But what about when you was younger with regards to my communication? Because I've always had problems with pronouncing words, getting my words out, even explaining things in detail. So I'm very simple when I'm explaining things, because the clips that I've showed earlier, I've spoken about when I see things in my thoughts, I see videos constantly. So because I see videos constantly, getting it transformed or transferred into communication to speak out, it causes an effect. So it makes my speech and my language not come out how it's meant to in this society that we live in. Yeah. It's okay for me. I understand everything, but not for others. So what was it like for you guys growing up with the way that I communicated with you guys? Was I a very stern mother? Because part of autism is we don't have filter. So what we say is what is going to be, and I've always been have that stern energy. And that stern energy is there because I'm probably passionate with what I'm saying at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm being real and I'm being true to self. But that can cause an effect to others. So I don't know who wants to go first.
You go first, Joe.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll go first. Me personally, when I was younger, I didn't really feel like he was really stern. So it's not until now that I've grown up and everything that I've seen it. So yeah, so to answer that question, when I was younger,
I think also as well, Jordan won't really have noticed it as much because he was going through a lot of illness, and because he was going through his illnesses and that, and dealing with epilepsy and stuff like that, you will be more patient with him, and stuff like that. You would have to have more patience with him because of what he's going through and that his health wise. So Jordan wouldn't have seen what I necessarily would have been aware of or been around with you. He would have had a completely different relationship with you. So then I thought that even with like the so-called term of the autism, or just like your style, your character and your upbringing connected all together, I feel that I have characteristics of you more than Jordan would have. And I'm in your star sign.
Yes.
So then I'll say for like my sense of what I noticed is that, yeah, growing up, I felt like sometimes you feel a bit embarrassed or maybe you feel ashamed in a shame energy way of like how people may think about you or treat you in a certain way if they laugh at you, or you will not care. But everyone who feels a way about something, they deal with it in different ways. So then you might just say, I don't care anyway, and you will rebuke it or send it back to the person. Let's say if someone had something to say about however you was, let's say.
Yes.
But growing up, I noticed that like we couldn't communicate, and I never felt I could trust saying things to you, let's say, because I didn't know how you was going to take it, how you was going to talk about it, or if you was going to say it to anyone else. So then I would be like the society may not, like the world may not really, they don't really trust people that are just open and say things however they want. Because it's good, it's healthy for the person, but it also creates that extra ricochet that we can never be controlled over. And it's like, it is how it happens today.
Now, I want to speak about one of my clips earlier was about emotions. So because I can be stern and my emotions can be quite straight to the point, straight cut. So when you had your experiences with living with your dad, it was quite, okay, that's going to happen. You know, it could have been like, did she really care? Because she allowed it to be, you know, she made it happen. It was something that was made into an experience. So that form of emotion. Another form of emotion is, as an adult now, like I'll give you an example. My son changed his name. So his birth name was Khan, you know, and his surname. Now it's Kwashi. Yeah. Now a lot of people around me was like, wow, your son's changing his name. Wow. You're like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, I'll give him my blessings. I didn't feel anything, because this is what I'm talking about, emotions and being autistic. It was just, it's a name, isn't it? And if you choose to change your name because you want to change your name and you want to have that experience, I was happy for that. I don't have that attachment of, well, I called you that name, so that name has to be kept. You know what I mean? I just was like, okay, great. Okay, you've got my blessings and you've changed your name. So those sort of emotions where a normal person looking in would be like, my child's changing their name. Wow. Is there something wrong? What have I done? What, you know, they would feel away. And I didn't feel away with that. So those are sort of emotions I'm talking about, where I can just, you know, what it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And it's like dealing with it and putting things in place. But the way I come about it and the way I might express my feelings to it, somebody else might not get it in that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the younger Zoe, where I didn't know I was autistic then. So I'm living this life and not realizing that what I say or how I put things across can cause an effect because I'm younger, I'm living, and I'm just being. It's not until probably someone says, oh, you know, you said it in that way, like, you know, I took offense or whatever. And then when I got older now, you identify yourself more because you're growing, and you're growing more spiritually. So you're able to understand that, you know. Another thing I wanted to ask you guys. So I've come in this earthly realm with a lot of so-called conditions that society has called it that name because they don't understand the creativity side of our brain and the spiritual side of our brain. However, bringing you two into the world with these conditions, one being autism or dyslexia, epilepsy, how do you guys feel knowing that part of those genes are inside of you somewhere?
You want to talk to you? Or should I go?
You can go first.
Oh, yeah. For me, I feel like because I've had a different experience towards it with regards to the genes, let's say. Because of my dad's energy field, let's say, and he's like more on the African side, even though he has Caribbean ways. That energy more basically like it merges and fuses, and it kind of like it channels out of that negative ways that it could affect me, and I can channel it into like something positive, or I could become a mad person psycho that gets sectioned. I'm that guy. I'm on both spectrums.
Yeah. What about you, Jordan? How the genes that's come from you? So the part of your genes that was connected to mine was the epilepsy and the dyslexia. Even though we're talking about autism, so it's all the same.
Yeah,
it's like it's all linked. It's all connected. Yeah, I mean, so
well, for me personally, like when I was younger, I don't know why, but I always used to think like, why, you know, when you think, why does this kind of happen to me?
Like why me?
Yeah, kind of thing, because I don't know, I always used to think like it restricted me of doing things, even though I used to always play football, do a lot of things, but then there was certain things that my friends would be doing, but I couldn't really do, kind of thing. So I'd always think, it would always be in the back of my head, like, I would want to do it, but then obviously I'd be like, okay, I can't do it because I know if I do this, I might like be ill or kind of stuff like that. So then I'll always be thinking, oh, maybe if I didn't have this, I'll be able to be doing this stuff, that stuff. But then obviously now I've gotten older, it's just like, I just know like I don't need to be doing everything that everyone needs to be doing, kind of thing. So
it's understanding
who
you are,
like,
innit?
the friends that I have now, like, it's more like I'm around people that are similar to me in a way. So it's like, yeah.
So was you ever called weird or different when you was younger?
I don't know if it was like weird. I don't know. I didn't really pick up on it at the time. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my next bit of this video is going to be about autism and spirituality. So I'll give this to you guys quickly. Do you think there is a connection between autism and spirituality? Because I'm going to really break that down in the next part of this video. But I just wanted to know your views quickly. Do you want to go first, Kay?
Yeah. I thought that with spirituality, there's different levels of realm or dimensions of spirituality, of awareness, let's say, or having that mind of abundance, of understanding of situations and stuff like that. And as we grow into those things, and it's a part of us, and it's like our birthright. We are the Most High, or say God of the universe, gives us all and everything and more. So when I think like that, I understand that like it's not for everyone to know certain things. The same way how not everyone can be a king, not everyone can be a soldier, not everyone can be a sergeant or general. There's roles that the Most High of the universe has given people, and it's for them to understand and know where they're meant to be. So however how your life has been given, you're meant to make something out of it that was already given for you, as in like it was already, like they say, like your life and the time you live on this earth has already been written down.
Yeah.
And when your time is ready, that's when you go. And if you try and fight it, you end up hurting and destroying yourself, and you can stay longer, but you just hurting and destroying yourself. But you could just flow free in and out. So then with the autism, I feel that it's I'll give you an example. I've seen certain past lives of me where I've been a European, a white woman, a white man, a black man, a woman, a male. I've had different lives of different male or female, and in different time zones, let's say. And I realized that when we also learnt more about our bloodline, we have now merged with the so-called evil of the world and the so-called good. We have both. An autistic person maybe in this European world, they're going to draw and attract other things that a normal person won't ever see or be aware of.
Definitely. Without a doubt. We see things that another person that doesn't have our creative mind and our unique mind won't see. That is how I would literally put that together as autism and spirituality. Do you want anything to add?
I would just say, I'm not going to go into the deepness that everyone just now put. Obviously, I would just put, no matter if you have autism, dyslexia, if you're dyslexic, if you're autistic, if you're epileptic, if you have, like, you shouldn't, don't let it, like, hold you back from doing anything that you want to do, kind of thing, like, anything creative, you can still just chase whatever dream that you want to do. Like, if you want to be a footballer, if you want to, there's people that want to do, like, be authors, bankers, TV presenters, like, just don't let it kind of hold you back, kind of thing.
No, I like that. Excellent. All right, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Kay. You came out of working to come and do this. Thank you, George.
Yes,
and we'll meet up soon. All right, guys.
Thank you.
So where does autism and spirituality link? With every neurological condition that is that humans are experiencing on Earth, there's a link to spirituality. It's to do with the mind. It's to do with how our brain is structured, and it's an energy thing. It's a spirit thing. Yeah. Autism is clearly visionary. It's something that we vision and have visions most of the time. So you could have an autism person that say they have a lot of deja vus. It's the same with epilepsy as well. So a lot of deja vus, a lot of visionary things that they see that can come true into the physical, a lot of dreams that they have. So a lot of autism people don't like to sleep, especially when you're young. When you're young, and I'm talking about like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and you have autism, some of them find it hard to sleep. They're up all the time. And some of them, when they are sleeping, the dreams that they get is so vivid and it seems so real. Some of them could be bad dreams, nightmares. Some could be good dreams, but they're so deep dreams that for us, we're taking those dreams in. It's like we're in those dreams. Those dreams are real for us, you know, and then when we get older, some of the times those dreams will come true. So it's like a vision that we've seen in the dream, and then we realize that, oh my gosh, that dream has come true. Spirituality is something that we as humans are still figuring out. We know there's more to this world. We know this. We can just see it. You know, when you go under sea, there's so much things under the sea that we still don't know. When we go above, when we look up above, there's so much things that we still don't know, yeah? This ain't no difference to autism and other neurological conditions. There's a connection there. There's a oneness there. What happens is that society do not allow people like us, that comes with our unique mind on earth, to be able to be free to show ourselves. And I'll give you an example. I want to speak about people that have severe autism, yeah, that are non-verbal. autism. Now, people that are non-verbal, they can't speak, they can't communicate in that way. So they're using other senses. That's their superpower. Yeah. Sometimes in this society, what happens is that superpower gets lost because it's not being energized. Because a child coming into this world with severe autism and they're non-verbal, they have a disability in society's eye. And that disability means that, oh, they cannot do this, they cannot do that. So we're just going to leave them there to just live and just be, but there's so much things they can't do. They're not like a so-called normal person. So it dampens their superpowers that they have. Now, if we really delve into an autistic person's mind of how they see things, their genius side to them, you know, we're able to identify their spirituality within. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go deep into this because I'm not here to go deep into anything. I'm just here for you guys to see and understand my brain and my mind and how I see things. For you to maybe start to see autism in a different way. For you to be able to maybe do more research on autism and don't just take it for granted that you think you know what autism is. And for people out there that has children that are autism, maybe you can try and see it differently and communicate with them differently and ask them how they're feeling. Ask them what's in their mind. Ask them what they see when they're thinking. Get to know them. Get to know that mind inside, because it is a beautiful place to be and we want to share it more. We want to be open and be out there where we can be free to be who we need to be. And at the moment, that is still not happening. So I know that I give a lot of healing out there for the world to be able to see us as neurological, unique beings, to be looked at more, to be able to be, okay, you tell us, what are you guys like? What do we need to learn? What do we need to know from you guys? You tell us, and not the other way around by saying, oh, you don't communicate well, or we don't understand you, so you need to change. Nobody needs to change. We should be able to be free to be who we are, yeah? And to learn from each other. So that's the energy that I put out each time and give healing to with regards to the world. So I think that's it. This was a long video. I hope you got something from it. And in the meantime, put your comments down, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that's about it. So until next time, take care.